Okay, let me get this out of the way. This title is a slight bit clickbait. Okay, to be specific, you can't beat the game properly. The first thing you need to do is press C to continue on, so it ends up being proven impossible. Okay, but instead of doing that, how about we see how many sign sprites are possible? Yeah, this is going to be painful. So let's go over the rules. Most obviously, only the arrow keys, aka movement keys, are allowed. This means no ground padding, no using flood, and no spinning using the X key. Now, the allowed moves are diving, the jumps, and spinning. You may be wondering, how do I spin without the X key? Simple, you press the left and right keys repeatedly. Now, if you want to make this illegal, then I've got something just for you. The shine sprite completion metric. Basically, red means impossible, orange means possible by my rules, and green means possible by any rules. Orange is for those who consider the spin illegal no matter what. Also, I know you can break boxes without spinning, but it's more convenient to do with spinning, which is why I label any star with boxes orange. Totally not, because I found that out through recording and I already wrote the script. I'll also be doing this on the original 2009 version. As an extra challenge, I'll try to do this without any speedrun skips, such as the wall leading to Bowser 1. And for convenience sake, I will say star instead of shine sprite. Alright, everyone understood? If you didn't, rewind to the beginning. Anyways, let's go! So the tutorial level only requires 3 Z presses for the 2 signs. Anyway, for the most part, it's easy besides one part. The part that teaches you triple jumps. It's only possible with a ground pound. Or so you'd think. See, in speedrunning there's this trick where at the last section you skip a huge portion of it by using birds. You jump on top of them, where you use jumping and flood to get across. So how does this matter here? Well, simple, there's birds here. My plan was to get on top of one of the birds and then jump off it onto this platform. Most of it was hoping for good RNG, as the bird could dive down at any moment. Eventually I did do it, but it cost me only several minutes of my life. Don't believe me? I'm uploading the raw footage to my second channel to prove it. But yeah, after that incredibly badass trick, the rest of the level is easy. The most I can say is that the platforming is made slightly harder without flood. After dealing with Eddie not understanding what challenge I'm doing, it costs 8 Z presses. I go to Bob on Battlefield. If you're asking how I'm going to select stars, here's how. Anyways, when it comes to the stage, it's not that hard. The first thing to note is that being Bob over here isn't defeatable. His dialogue requires a Z press, so he's out of the question. Secret of the mountain star is possible, though made slightly harder without Flood's help. Every time we unlock a part of the castle, we have to press D, which is suck. I decided to attempt the island star. Big mistake. The issue is the wind. I didn't know until now, but the wind actually extends to the bottom, below the island. So I then thought to myself that instead of that star, I should do the silver star one instead. This star essentially requires the wing cap to even get there. There's one part I'm pretty sure you can do without spinning that I did, and that's the one silver star over here. But besides that one, it's a pretty easy star. Next up, the red coins. This one is only impossible if you don't allow spinning, and even then you can just bump into the boxes and break them anyway. Otherwise, it's a pretty easy star. I guess the only thing I could mention is that there's more birds used in this one, but that's all of Bob on Battlefield. 2 impossible, 1 rule dependent, and 2 possible. Pretty even, I must say. Next up, shifting Sandland. Every star here depends on rules. Inside the pyramid one requires spinning to break open its crate, and the 2 other ones need 2 spins for the star launcher thing, whatever Eddie said it was called. This stage was mostly easy because that, setting aside the weirdness of spamming left and right. So 3 rule dependent stars. I didn't expect we'd actually get one like this, but that's impressive. The tidal isles is an interesting one as we're underwater for it. Being underwater isn't a major disadvantage, but depending on how long you stay in the water, you're more likely to die, especially since you can't speed yourself up. However, this one isn't that difficult as it isn't designed with the speed flood in mind, so we can get the silver stars without drowning. 1 possible and actually enough for Bowser. But first, let's do the other stages. Snowman's Land is up next, and it's not good. Literally every star here is impossible. We can't find the ice bully as he's got a text box. We can't do the secret igloo star as we need a ground pound. We can't do the maze as it requires a ground pound. And we can't do the red coins as half of them are in the sky and you need to use the cannon. Which leaves 1 star that's rule dependent, and the snowman's head. instead. You need to spin for this one on the launcher. So that's 1 rule dependent and 4 impossible. Jesus, that's bad. Good thing we have other stars to actually use. I decided to try out Secret of the Mushroom next, but it's impossible. You have the ground pound to actually get it. It's a good area for farming 1-ups, however, so I won't complain too much. As it seems, my only choice now is Bowser's Trap. Okay, the Dark World. First thing I did is do all the red coins. The red coins themselves aren't bad. Even if you die, you won't lose progress on them, so you won't have to worry about that. No, there's 1 Z-press required, that being the elevator thing. There's some dialogues that's unskippable. We have to bite the bullet. So yeah, the red coin store is impossible, but I got it anyway. On to the Bowser fight, and it's rough. First, it's impossible to him having dialogue, and you have to press space to actually throw Bowser. Now that's one thing, but it wouldn't be as hellish if it weren't for the second tutorial. After this, we get the new floods, but at a cost. We can't use them! Now this stage is impossible for one reason. Fuck! However, besides that, there's one other thing. The red nozzle. It launches you straight up, and the problem is very simple. We can't get up easily. I tried using the birds again, but I'm not sure if it's possible with them even if I manage to get up. I bit the bullet and decided to do the tutorial 2 skip. Let me explain it quickly. Basically, remember when I gave my stars to Eddie? Yeah, that's when I also logged live. For some reason in tutorial 2, if you constantly die until you've gone down to like basically -1 life, the game will boot you back to Peach's Castle. Unfortunately, I couldn't do my extras challenge. Now, let's continue to the backyard where Kamek exists. Start playing Toho in Mario, but way easier. And eventually a problem arises. Okay, there already was one. We had text boxes. But the different problem I'm talking about is Goomboss. Damage Goomboss, you need to ground pound on him a minimum of 3 times in a row, which makes this impossible. I'm going to get the green star anyway, since it's required for progression in the basement. Sucks, but what am I going to do about it? The first thing I did in the basement was attempt Frosty Flood, which was mostly easy, except for the fact that you need a ground pound. Oh, it's impossible. Also, I beat the tutorial 2 just so I didn't have to deal with it. Next up is Hazy Maze Cave, in which I couldn't do basically half of the stars. Only 2 possible are the Toxic Maze and Underground Lake stars. That's because they're the only ones available in the open. But that was extremely bad. I attempted the Secret of the Sky stage, but I'm pretty sure you need good RNG with the birds, which I might need to do later on if I don't have enough stars. So using the green star I collected earlier, I continued on. I first did the Swamp Castle level. It's a platforming challenge, so it's naturally simple. I then tried Big Boo's Mansion, and god darn it, yep, there's a textbook. The game hates me. Instead I tried Wet Dry World. This one only has 1 possible one. Town Star requires a cannon, and the Silver Star's a ground pound. So only 1 star is actually possible. For the big issue, we don't have enough stars for Bowser the Second. We have to scavenge for some stars in other places. My first thought was the secret underwater stage, but apparently that isn't unlocked. So instead I'm attempted the magma maze. Humongous mistake. It is way too complicated to simply be done using the movement keys. I decided to get some stars from the top floors. First off, Lethal Lava Land. I had no directions for this one, so I just went all over the place. Pretty sure the Bully Tower star is impossible due to a text box. The red coins are pretty possible, and I decided to do a detour and get some star coins. That's because there's some doors locked by them. One of them unlocks Luigi, and one of them gives you a free star. So I started hunting for these since it seemed like I needed them, and now I remember that challenge was already proven impossible. Why am I going on for stuff when I already know this challenge can't be done? Anyways, I got some star coins and continued on. I did the wheel star and the volcano star is impossible, so forget about it. So now I went on to Tauto Mountain, where I already needed 2 stars. I'm going to get more star coins on the way in case I need them, but blah blah, you know. The red coins were pretty easy, besides some deaths here and there. Next star, I climbed an entire mountain to spend 24 hours there for a challenge just to get the star. Trust me, the climb took ages because I kept falling down. I did do progress though. Eventually I got the star. Now we have enough stars for Bowser in the Fire Sea. Oh lord, this stage sucks! I could go into it and make this video longer than it already is, but it's a very simple issue. It's called spinning! There's a couple areas where blocks that are breakable up here, which you need to break for progress. Anyways, it's mostly possible, but then the rocket flood ruins it! So yeah, you can't do that. I still decided to get the red coin star, then doing the Bowser fight. Bowser didn't change besides some dialogue. Then a million Z presses later, because of a stupid cutscene, I could finally do that secret level. Roy Roger Bay is really easy nothing stops us. Then I did 1 star in Total Mountain. Trust me, it wasn't interesting. After getting 1 extra star coin, I could get a great reward. A star! Afterwards, I did Kamek's Castle, which is another scroller, which is the same as the garden, needing a lot of dialogue. Luckily, the bully buff doesn't require anything besides the movement keys, so that was lucky. Anyways, after that, we unlocked the upper floors. I'm coming back to you in a bit, Rainbow Ride. TikTok clock is very possible. There's 2 stars that require spinning for the star launchers, and 1 which doesn't. There isn't much to add, really. Secret level of Galaxy of Stars is a silver star mission. Got some hard positions for us, but since flood is still illegal. But all the silver stars are possible. Oh, there's also star launchers which you need spinning for. Whatever, just have me hit with one. Okay, let me deal with Rainbow Ride. This stage is legitimate hell. If I ever see a rainbow carpet, I'm going to have flashbacks from this challenge. That's of course a joke. Just this stage, I'm pretty sure it has possible stars, but the platforming you have to do for them is ridiculous. Feel free to try it, though I guarantee you it'll not be fun, and also be wary of your mental state after this. Skipping a bit, I went to Bowser's Castle. I did the red coins first, in which I needed to do 4 Z presses and more because of this toad and the keys. Also 1 space for the cannon. Anyways, I did the level the regular way, and okay, I'm just going to say this. I didn't beat this one. I apologize, but I'm agitated at this point, so here's what I'll say. I'll offer you to attempt this level if you don't value your sanity, which I do. But that was hell. Goodbye, and now I will be working on this video.